Imagine a plague that doesn't kill you with a fever or a cough. It kills you by forcing your body to move until your heart explodes. Today is episode 8 of our journey. We are investigating one of the most terrifying and bizarre events in human history. The dancing plague of 1518. This wasn't a legend. It is in the historical records, confirmed by doctors, priests, and city councils of the time. The horror began in July of 1518 in the city of Strasbourg, France. A woman named Frau Troffea stepped out of her house and began to dance in the narrow street. There was no music, there was no celebration. Her face didn't show joy, it showed intense strain. She twisted and twirled for hours. Her husband tried to stop her, but she couldn't. She danced until her feet were raw and bleeding. She collapsed from exhaustion, slept for a few hours, and then woke up and immediately started dancing again. By the end of the week, 30 other people had joined her. They were all doing the same thing, dancing uncontrollably, unable to eat, drink, or rest. By August, the number had grown to 400. The scene in the city was apocalyptic. Historical accounts describe a mass of people moving in a trance. Their clothes were soaked in sweat and blood. Their shoes were shredded. Many of them were screaming, begging for it to stop, crying out that they saw visions of demons or fire. But their legs kept moving. It was a death sentence. People began to drop dead in the streets. They died from heart attacks, strokes, and sheer physical exhaustion. At the peak of the plague, 15 people were dying every single day. The city council was terrified. They called in the doctors. The doctors ruled out astrological causes and said it was a hot blood disease. Their prescription was insane. They said the victims needed to dance it out. The city actually built a wooden stage in the market. They hired professional musicians to play drums and horns, thinking that if they kept the beat, the people would cure themselves. This was a catastrophic mistake. The music acted like gasoline on a fire. The rhythm pulled in even more bystanders. The frenzy grew more violent. The square became a graveyard of moving bodies. So what caused this? Medieval people believed it was the curse of Saint Vitus, a saint who could punish sinners by forcing them to dance. They eventually took the survivors to a shrine in the mountains and forced them to wear red shoes, hoping to lift the curse. Modern science has two theories. One is ergot poisoning. A toxic mold that grows on rye bread can cause hallucinations and convulsions similar to LSD. The other theory is mass psychogenic illness. The people of Strasbourg were starving and terrified of disease. The stress was so high that their brains snapped, creating a shared delusion that spread like a virus. Eventually, the dancing stopped as mysteriously as it began. But it left behind hundreds of dead bodies and a city traumatized by the sight of its own citizens dancing into their graves. It reminds us that the human mind is fragile. And sometimes the scariest monster isn't a ghost or a beast. It is our own body turning against us. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and tell me in the comments, do you think this was a disease or mass hysteria?